Welcome to the Roberts Library MLA tutorial. This tutorial will review creating a works cited page using MLA style. We will not cover in-text citations or formatting a paper. We will only review how to cite a website, a journal article from a database, a newspaper article, a book, and a magazine article. You create a works cited page to show you performed valid research and to help your professor find the source if needed. Librarians are available if you have questions. We are using the 7th edition of the MLA Style Guide. You can find this book at the library, or you may purchase one at the bookstore. Be sure to use the index when you are trying to find information. Different items have special rules, as you will see later in the tutorial. For example, if you are going to cite a map, you should look up map in the index, and you will be directed to specific instructions for citing your map. This is what our end product will look like. For each example, you will see 3 lines. I will underline what I am looking for, the actual information on the source, and where it goes in the citation. This is just to help train your eye to look in specific spots for information. Let's start with the website. Notice the citation guide is in bold. I will add different items in the correct order. You must first list the author, last name first. It may be difficult to find an author on a website. For any item you cannot find for your citation, simply leave it off and move on to the next item. We are using an actual article from CNN, so the author is easy to find. Next is the title of the section or article we are using. Again, this may be hard to find. Look for bolded words at the start of the cite. Notice I left 2 spaces between the author name and the title of the work. You must leave 2 spaces in between each item. The title of the website comes next. It is different from the title you already listed. This would be something like ask.com or, as seen here, cnn.com. You can then give the version or edition used, if available, and the publisher or sponsor of the site. cnn.com is published by Cable News Network. You should include the day the website was last updated. I see this article was published on November 18th. Next, you add the format of the source, which would be web. Record the date you accessed or viewed the material in day, month, year format. You only include the URL if it is required by your professor. Many of you will use a database to find information for your project. This is an example of a result list you will typically see while researching. Let's use this article in Academic Search Complete as our example. I will click on the title to see this screen with all of the citation information. Start with the author's name. If there are multiple authors, you start with the first one listed, even if they aren't in alphabetical order. The first person listed is the first author. Next, the title, then the title of the journal or source, and the volume and issue number. This information should be clearly labeled on the article itself or in the record, but sometimes it is not. Ask a librarian to help if you get stuck. The newer version of MLA requires that you only include the year of publication for an academic journal, not the month or season. After a colon, you include the page numbers of the article you used. You then include the database name, which you can find on this page or by looking at the top or bottom of your screen. Next, you list the format, which is web, and the date you accessed the article. You only include the URL if it is impossible to find the work without it, or if your professor requires it. We will go ahead and include the general site for Galileo. Now that you are getting the hang of making your citations, I will move quickly through the last few examples. Newspaper articles are quite simple. Start with the author's name, then the title, the newspaper name and the date of publication. You can include information such as late edition or North Georgia edition if it is visible. You then include the page numbers and the format. If this article could only be viewed online, you would revert back to our website example and just change a few things. The format has changed to web, and we included the publisher of the site along with the date accessed. Citation information for a book can be found on the front cover or within the first few pages of the book. You can see the author and title on the cover. The city of publication and publisher are found on the back of the title page. You may have to hunt for them, but they should always be listed. Lastly, you include the year published and the format. The last type of source we will review is a magazine article. First is the author name, then the title in quotations, the name of the magazine in italics, and the date of publication. Lastly, the page numbers and format. Now that we have our sources, we can format the page. You alphabetize the list with the first item listed, whether it be author name or title. Center the heading Works Cited. Double space the entire page. Include a hanging indent on each entry. You can do this by highlighting the entire page and pressing the Ctrl and T button down at the same time. Again, be sure to leave 2 spaces open between each group of words. This is the end of our tutorial. I hope it has been helpful. Good luck with your citations.